All right,
Okay.
let's hit it. Yeah,
That's next
elimination. We're going to go to the bottom of the screen.
Next count.
All right, here we go.
Sorry, that's not
2016.
2016.
Goodness, that was the last decade.
Wow. That was a while ago.
Yeah, it was.
Seems like just last week.
Angeli's new Hawkstudio Productions bumper.
Nice.
New one every year.
We polished this one up a little bit compared to
ooh,
the
look at
first
that
time.
carpet.
It looks good though.
Shadows.
Look
I
at that
like the
carpet.
shadows.
It's-
Dustin's double pauldroned.
oh yeah. Oh, and we had a good friend,
Tom. Hey,
and that.
you see
is-
that guy behind there? That's a green screen.
That's Dan. That's you.
It is me.
You're the ultimate villain. So time has run out. For the run of it. Yep.
I like that.
That was how we kind of. I really like the choreo in this.
You went orange with your blade.
The intent and the intensity.
never liked you anyway. Zabrak.
Yeah.
So he's a Zabrak.
And we all
Darth
I
Maul
always
is a
wanted
brat.
to add a actual alien in this because I think Star Wars is better with aliens.
Right, yeah. Feels more Star Wars than the aliens.
Yeah. So our choreography was short, but it was tight in this one. That's what I really like. This scene
You wrote all the
particularly.
choreography. This is
Yeah, I did this one really fast. At the last second,
that was our favorite shot. Right?
yeah. It was
Holding
and
this
then
lightsaber.
we had some longer takes, which really helped.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep focused. Yeah, I did the video on almost all of this.
We filmed this in the day.
That's nuts.
We filmed this in the day. We shot and did the whole thing in 2 weeks.
It's our first dab.
Like it was a bad choice. I really wanted it to be a
Child. So Tom
Like a
did
smoke.
Tom did brilliant.
Yeah, it's our good friend Tom.
At this point, he had already filmed the other one. We
You have done well, Dark Cyrus.
All right.
I have a mission
Darth
for
Cyrus.
you, apprentice.
How did you do
Yes.
the
Production value got better.
My master.
Zabrak horns?
Yeah, so I got those Zabrak horns online.
Oh,
and
they're like
they're
actual.
they were like, yeah, somebody made them online.
Oh,
that was
nice.
such a cool scene right there.
yeah, the,
And Dan did
The
all
dark
the.
faded
If
out.
you could recognize that music actually. That music.
Yeah, I did the
is our
score
intro
for it.
music, and Dan did the whole score for it.
in 2 minutes, I'd been doing a lot of music, and so I had an idea. And again, it was up to the wire. We gave ourselves so little time.
Well, because we had
we
decided
gave ourselves
not to
half
do it
the time.
because we were working on the other fan film.
Right.
Yeah.
So
We were working on the other one. We realized we could never chop it down to fit into this 3-minute slot.
yeah, so in the last second, we decided we're like, let's just do it. So let's just do it. So then we did it, and we did the whole thing in 2 weeks,
Yeah,
which was
that's nuts.
crazy. I mean, we were insane. I
Right.
mean, thankfully we had done it before, but we hadn't done it in that scenario, that situation, you know. And Tom and I worked overtime to get that choreography down. Dan was
Yeah.
helping, everybody was helping, and but really, the choreography and a lot of things, that's some of my favorite. That condensed, like solid, like fight was, I don't know, that
Yeah,
was
I
probably one of our
agree.
best ones.
Yep, I agree.
And we learned so much from the first two, especially those longer scenes, longer cuts.
Yeah.
It really helped, and the intensity, we got even better at it. It looks like we're actually trying to kill each other,
Right. Yeah.
which helps. There's so many good things going for it.
Now, what about stuff you wanted to change about that one?
Yeah, there's.
Go
I
into
mean,
that.
if I could go into that,
Yeah.
if the one thing there was one choreography move I really wish I would have changed. It's kind of silly and small, but like when I got hit in the leg, when Tom
Yeah.
hit me in the leg with the lightsaber, I should have used that if I was smart. I should have, if I would have taken more time, I think I would have realized to use that. I think he should have kicked me there.
Yeah,
Where
because it was
the-
already weak.
Yeah, and I would have shown a little bit more prowess as far as like
Right.
fighting
yeah.
skills for Tom and why he won a little bit more. Because I was like I was supposed to be like more of a big hulking dude, and that's why I grabbed him by the neck. And we had specific
Yeah.
fight styles in a lot of ways. He was quicker, faster, and all black was tricky. That was, not easy.
It was not easy. We actually the room
rotoed
we
it.
used all kinds of black in the big room that we had. There was scaffolding all around us,
Yeah,
and so we actually used every piece of black fabric we could find, like tablecloths and whatnot,
Yeah.
and clipped them up over that so
Right.
that when we shot, everything looked like it was just like a black room inside of a maybe a ship,
Yeah.
maybe a fortress. So I had the little red thin lights in the background.
We're going for
I
a
saw
ship. We
those,
were kind of going for a ship because of
Yeah.
the red lighting in the background.
It would have helped maybe if I added some ship sound effects. I wanted to actually have a ship at the beginning of this one,
Yeah,
Right.
like
yeah.
flying, and then so you see where you're at, and then you're in.
that would have established it really
Yeah,
well.
I mean, theoretically, I wanted to do that because I was working on a ship for the other film, and I'm like, oh, maybe I could somehow squeeze it in there, and just ran out of time, and then
yeah, there's
we're
so many
like,
things that come
it's
to
fine,
it.
let's
though.
just jump into it.
Let's just go.
But then what
Yeah.
happened is when we only had curtains up like 10 feet in the air,
yeah,
and we hung lights, we got like Parcan lights up
Yeah.
above those,
sliding was difficult.
and we shot them down, and I thought it looked really cool, minus like the carpet, but
yeah.
Yeah, if we could have changed that,
if we could have
would.
changed that, we would have. But
Just get more sheets.
get more
Right.
sheets. Yeah, we
Everything's
had another
black.
1,000.
But then
yard
that
of
became
They're
a,
fighting
that
in the
became a
void.
tripping hazard though.
Yeah,
because
but-
it moves on you.
The problem, yeah, it does.
That
but-
was tricky.
And the problem is once I aimed the camera up, like looking
Yeah.
up at somebody, now all of a sudden my 10 feet of fabric
Yep.
is too low.
Gone.
Yeah.
So what I had to do is we actually rotoed all the lightsabers, and every
rotoed.
frame that it went above the black fabric and you could see scaffolding or what have you in the background, I actually rotoed out around everybody's head and masked all of that black.
Yeah.
Really?
That's
So if you
crazy.
Wow.
freeze a couple of frames, and it's almost literally 90% of the shots, there's beyond where we actually had the black fabric. So
Right, yeah.
That was
it was
yeah.
double rotoed, so the whole thing, it was pretty easy, but actually at the same time it wasn't, because then somebody would swing down and you would see all that happening above.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the fact that we
Yeah.
finished that, and then, I
And-
mean, I didn't sleep for 2 weeks, but
No,
Right.
yeah.
maybe a
Yeah.
week, but the music and all that came down, and
I was quite proud of the horns. I
Yeah.
wanted to have a Zabrak. I just wanted to have something, and the Zabrak made the most sense when you think about it. You're like, what's the least amount of work, kind of, but
Right.
still is an
But it's
alien
still an
creature
alien.
and still
Yeah.
familiar Zabrak
Right.
because you could just put the horns on, do the face paint,
Yeah.
and it works. He
Yeah.
didn't have to shave his head. I mean, he was okay with that, but we didn't make him do that.
Right. Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
think worked out fine. But then, what else I was gonna say though? Yeah, and we got the pauldrons, and I looked a little more armored, like, and he had the all black getup, which looked more like a Sith. He looked pretty epic.
And I think the reason we were actually able to pull this off in 2 weeks is because in between these, like we said, we filmed a whole nother
yeah.
film,
Oh, for sure.
and it hadn't been released yet. So there was some choreography that we worked on for that you guys were able to maybe borrow from.
No, actually, we didn't take any.
You didn't take
choreography.
anything?
No, none, because we used all the choreography from that.
Wow,
one
from
in,
that one.
in that one. So this is
Wow.
brand new choreography.
So it was all brand new.
It's
Wow.
just right off the
I didn't
bat.
even know that.
It
so
was off the top of our head, Tom and I, and other
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
were help. I mean, you guys contributed. To the
yeah, but I think
choreography, too.
part of it was that you were more comfortable
and we've been
fighting.
Yeah, Tom and I had
You've
already been
been
fighting for a
training.
long time.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
other nice thing about this one really has going for it is the location. Locations was a huge thing that we thought about too, because so many fan films you see online are, it's out in the woods or whatever, and that's what we did for our first one because it made the most amount of sense. We still
Yeah.
we added the two moons thing, and we added the sound effects to hopefully make it sound like it was a little bit more on an alien planet,
Mhm.
because we really tried to immerse into the Star Wars world. That was a big thing
Yeah.
we thought about. And but the location of this one, and we picked a good location of the last one. It was funny because if you like turn the camera more, you would see like a road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
that's
could only
true.
film it like so much. But that
Well-
kind of worked with like the 180, and where we found the location worked so you didn't actually see that much. We were kind of more in a valley, so you could almost have a 360 of nothing. And that really shows more in our last film. We had probably one of the best locations, except for the whole thing was like filmed on a slant. We were filming
Yeah.
everything on
Oh,
a
man.
slanted
Yeah.
hill. But in this one, it was all black.
Mm-hmm.
So the nice thing is we could film it all day without having to worry
Yeah,
about
we didn't have to worry about
sunlight,
night,
clouds,
day. Yep.
anything like that. So that really helped us, I think, with
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
being able to get it all done in one day. Filming
think
and
so.
stuff.
That's
And
a lot of
that-
fun.
how it goes.
That second one, yeah, like I said, it was probably one of the best. I wanted to get my head chopped off, but they said that was a little too intense.
graphic,
which
man,
is
too
okay. I
graphic.
get it, but it was two evil people fighting. And
So, hey, this is the first time we've actually sat down and talked about that one. Sorry, Tom, you're not here. Nick's taking your
Yeah.
place
Hey,
for today. But if you
I'm
watch this,
replacing
Tom,
you.
we'll have to get your comments and thoughts about how insane that was.